Already found this on the Gateway Pundit. China unveils world's first pregnancy simulating humanoid robot. Alright, well, let's get into it. The device created by Gang Soon based Kawaii technology, probably said that wrong, features an artificial womb integrated into a robotic abdominal model to replicate the full gestation. The artificial womb is on an advanced incubation pod that mimics the conditions of a uterus and is designed to handle the full human pregnancy cycle, from conception to birth. Priced below 100,000 yen, or about $14,000. Oh, cool. That's not that bad. Actually, that's pretty cheap. The robot aims to assist infertile couples and individuals who prefer to avoid biological pregnancy, especially young women who wish to have children but not, bear them. Kawaii Technology founder Zhang Qian, who earned his PhD from Singapore's Nanyang Technological University in 2014, announced the project at the 2025 World Robotic Conference in Beijing. The company, established in 2015, has previously produced service and reception robots. Zhang described the technology as mature, noting that the artificial womb would use amniotic fluid and nutrient hoses to support fetal growth. The robot builds on existing artificial womb research, including a 2017 experiment at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, where premature lambs were grew in a biobag filled with synthetic amniotic fluid. However, experts emphasize that replicating human pregnancy involves complex hormonal and immune interactions not yet fully achievable. Details on how Kawaii Technology will surmount these challenges is not available yet. Supporters highlighted potential benefits for women's liberation from pregnancy. Yeah, I bet the feminists would love that. Also, burdens and new options for infertility treatment. Alright, so when I found this article, I googled it to try to find some art, but instead I found this video on Reddit, so I'll pop that in and continue on.
I'm overreacting. This is slightly terrifying, and maybe something we should have thought about a little bit longer before just doing. Japanese scientists have spent the last several years developing the world's first artificial womb outside of the human body, and it's done, apparently. Which is insane, because it sounds like something out of the upcoming final season of Stranger Things, but this is real life. Here we are. They call this EVE therapy, or ex vivo uterine environment.
So, this might just be my opinion, but it sounds like she really hates this artificial womb. I wonder why.
The EVE system, which isn't totally dystopian at all. It actually was designed for really altruistic purposes for the most part, replicating a human womb for babies that are born extremely prematurely or are extremely sick and need more time to develop, which is not a bad thing whatsoever. And they specify that this technology currently is primarily aimed at supporting premature infants rather than enabling full-term gestation outside of the human body. Basically, if you are born way too soon and you need a lot more time to develop to be healthy and strong, they'd stick you right back in an artificial womb after you were born. But I can abso-freaking-lutely guarantee you it will never stay at just this altruistic, wonderful purpose.
Yeah, it never does. Examples: LGBT. All we want is the right to get married. Yeah, okay, here you go. And now you have transgendered people wanting to read to kids, and parents transitioning their kids in order to virtue signal. The feminist movement. All we want is the right to vote. Okay. Well, now we want to enter the workforce. Okay. Corporations love that. Flood the workforce with more labor. And now it's, we want abortion on demand. Finally, immigration. Legal and assimilation. They come in legally and they assimilate. But now what do you have? Now you have mass immigration, and they don't assimilate. Anyway, back to the video.
And it should be wildly concerning to anyone remotely interested in human rights. We have developed technology that could aid in completely unfettered human trafficking.
Human trafficking, eh? Didn't the Trump administration mention something about 150,000 children have gone missing at the southern border? Yeah, does anybody care about that? Well, not the left, not by the look of it.
Like creating unlimited human beings that no one even knows exist in a laboratory for the purposes of abuse. Practicing mass eugenics all over the world by examining how a baby is growing in the womb, and if it's not up to satisfactory performance or perfect baseline health, then we could just prematurely pull the plug.
She talks about prematurely pulling the plug. How many millions of babies have been aborted because women just didn't want them? Isn't that by definition similar to pulling the plug? And no, I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying, you know, abortion's pretty big in the West. What is it, tens of millions of babies?
And continuing to remove women from the procreative process entirely.
Gotta love how she blames somebody else for removing women from the procreative system. Woman, you women did that well enough on your own. You didn't have to enter the workforce, but you did, and now the birth rate has tanked.
Which is exactly what we've seen the foundation being laid for, with everyone labeling women as birthing people and saying it's not just women who give birth, apparently.
I would say the whole birthing person thing was just another means of division. Sow division, maintain control, that kind of stuff. If I'm not mistaken, the whole trans thing, birthing thing, J.K. Rowling talked about that. She was a leftist darling, but as soon as she started saying that trans people aren't women or something, she got ostracized.
This is a prime example of complicated bioethics, where we at least owe it to humanity to ask ourselves, just because we can, should we? But what do you think? Because...
What do I think? I think this question should have been asked before women entered the workforce. What will happen to the birth rate if women enter the workforce? You know, that kind of stuff. Or here's another question that should have been asked. Is it a good idea to let women vote? Women predominantly are governed by their emotions. So, is that a good idea? I don't think so. Now, do I think there's bad things attached to this? Yeah, but there's also good things. Bad things would be, yeah, corporations will take advantage of this. I imagine software updates would cost a pretty penny, and better hope your power doesn't go out, because yeah, that'd be pretty bad. Is the government going to put regulations on it? Oh, hell yeah. Now, the pros, on the other hand, men won't have to worry about dating, men won't have to worry about women accusing them of SA. Well, I guess that would still exist. Men don't have to worry about divorce courts, losing more than half their stuff. They wouldn't have to worry about a woman taking their kid to transition them. Another pro, if you think about it, feminists, they view it as liberation from pregnancy, as it says in the article. Yeah, but in the long run, you're liberating men from you. Now, for Japan, it's a pro, because guess what? Japan's birth rate is even worse than the West. Because, you know, you can't force women to have kids, so what do? Well, that's the thing with the human species. We don't have claws, we don't have fangs, or tough hides. We have intellect. We have the intelligence to overcome obstacles. And this whole birth rate obstacle is man-made, or woman-made. Because why? Corporations tricked women into the workforce. Women didn't have to go in the workforce, but they wanted to because they wanted to be equal to men. Men and women aren't equal. We're both different. We complement each other. But because of feminism, like I said, the birth rate tanked. So, gotta fix it somehow. And for the women, again, in the long run, it's bad for them because men won't need them. But the funny part, women still need men. Wrapping this video up, I think it's a good idea. Yeah, sure, corporations will take advantage of it, as will politicians, but you have to get the birth rate up somehow. Well, anyway, take care out there in clown world.